What's happening, everybody? How you guys been? This is episode 3, chapter 3 of The Late Night with Mr.Manan, aka me, your host, yours truly. I kind of have a little bit of a different light setup today. I kind of like this. I just started doing this actually. So I literally, before I press record, I was like, let me set this up and see how this looks. I think the blue ambiance in the back looks a little bit better, and just it looks bright enough so you can see me a little bit better. It looks a little bit cleaner. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep it like this. Maybe I'll just change that color in the background every so often, maybe every episode, every couple episodes, so it can kind of look a little bit different. But I was looking for some, like, kind of a background, like a wallpaper kind of thing. This TV, like I've said, kind of a weird thing, but again, it's my own little space, personal space, so I'm not really tripping about it too much. I don't think you guys are either. You guys are probably just like, oh, it's cool, just talk. I just want to hear what you have to say. Um, One thing, to whoever is listening and whoever has been listening, you guys, I am very, very appreciative of. I'm very grateful of that for you guys, and that you guys are just watching. Um, I was kind of surprised actually. So to kind of get into this, first, real quick. So the whole setup of this episode today, this podcast, I don't really have a set order again today. There is a little bit more things I'm going to kind of pinpoint because of the last episode that I said, but today is going to be a little bit all over the place as well. But again, working on that, working to try to get more scheduled things down in order, like topics and stuff like that, so we can just kind of baseline everything in one episode. So I'm looking forward to that. But going back to what I was saying, I want to definitely thank you guys, whoever you are, for listening. Obviously, I know select few, but the people that I don't, whoever you are, again, I appreciate you very, like, greatly. That's awesome. I initially started this podcast to just talk. There's not anything really, there's not a reason for me to do this, I guess. At least not a super big reason. I just have this camera equipment, this is something, like, obviously I'm very grateful for having this camera equipment because of my other thing that I do. But I just was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do this, and I'm all I'm doing is just talking, And I've already got some feedback from people. Like the other day, one of my friends was like, dang, bro, like, you're doing your thing, and like, your videos are turning out good. And just me not really thinking about it like that, I was like, oh, like, what are you talking about? And he's like, oh, like, your podcast. And I just start cracking up, not in a bad way, but like, whoa, like, you're watching that? Like, that's dope. And he's like, yeah, like, I put it on, right before I go to bed and stuff like that. And I'm like, or just like whenever you're like, they're just doing stuff. I'm like, whoa, like, that's pretty sick, like, and there's some other people that I know that have been watching it. So I appreciate you guys. I just definitely want to say that for sure. You guys are, um, that means a lot. I'm not trying to make this like super big, really, to be quite frank. I'm just doing it just to do it. It's just fun, kind of get my thoughts out. And I know, obviously you guys are enjoying it a little bit, so maybe you guys can just stick along for a long time. So I appreciate that. So still had that cough a little bit. Don't know what it is. I think it's just like nighttime, morning stuff. I don't know what it is. So I got my water here. Um, my black bottle that I usually have in the videos, gone, trashed it. Whole thing, like, the seal was like stuck. I had to open it up with pliers. So, like, I'm not opening up my bottle every single time with pliers. Definitely not doing that. So I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go have to get another one at Walmart, something like that, just another store. I'm not paying like $30-$40 for a freaking water bottle. I'm gonna go ahead and get something for like $10 and just, all right, knock it out. That's it. But yeah, so real quick, as you can see, I am kind of dressed up a little bit. So the color's not really popping out in the video, on the camera, but this is kind of a navy blue, well, very, very dark navy, like a dark blue blazer, and have a gray button up. Got some gray slacks on. Got my dress shoes, black dress shoes, black belt, and some black dress socks. So the last episode I did talk about, I wanted to kind of address some of like men's style. A while back, I made a video that was like an hour and a half long. Boom, was talking about all this stuff and deleted. So here I am. I've been kind of switching up my wardrobe style. And I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I don't, like, this is how I want to dress. Like, this is what I want to do. You know, I've always loved this kind of style. Like, growing up as a kid, I'm not sure if you guys ever watched it, but the James Bond movies, man, when I'm telling you, I have watched mainly the Daniel Craig ones. That was like one of my favorite actors at the time. And he just, like, the epitome of what he wore and what he was as a person, like in that movie, like the character 007 James Bond, that just, I love that. Something about that is just so cool to me, and it just appeals to me. So I was like, you know what? When I'm older, I'm gonna be like that. Maybe not like a whole hitman assassin kind of thing, but the style, the whole ambiance and like aura of that guy. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, today also got my watch on and everything like that. A little silver watch. This is a Guess watch. Nothing too special. Again, balling on a budget. Real quick, $10 for this sports coat, blazer. $10 for this dress shirt. The pants are a little bit more expensive. Got these at like Macy's. I think JCPenney or Macy's. Dress shoes I've had for a little bit. This whole fit is probably less than $100, which, if you guys know how expensive this stuff is, like, this is a steal of a fit. So yeah, so I'm kind of getting some things in order when it comes to the styles, the suits, all that kind of stuff that I want to talk about, like summer clothing, mainly just how men should dress, kind of according to like weather, like how they look in the sense of like build and everything like that. I think it's very important, and I'm just going to talk about my experience of it, because again, I'm still learning, I'm still adapting and growing from all this stuff, but I have seen significant difference from wearing this over wearing some jeans and a t-shirt. You know, nothing wrong with jeans and a t-shirt, but I've seen a significant difference on how people treat you and how they speak to you and how they look at you. It's a whole thing. It's a whole sex appeal thing, and it's pretty cool when you really think about it. When you kind of deep dive into stuff like that, it's really crazy how much of a difference just this stuff can do. Just a button-down shirt can do, really. But yeah, so today's kind of chapter, there's one main thing I'm going to be talking about, and it happened a couple of days ago. It was pretty cool. It was a very I'm not going to say like completely eye-opening, but it was a very heartfelt moment, and it just kind of, it was humbling. I'll just say that. It was very humbling. So I'm definitely going to address that. But yeah, so what have you guys been doing? What have you guys been on? How you guys been? It's been about 2.5-ish weeks. I checked right before I started. I think the last thing I posted was March 16th-ish. That was one of the shorts on my Instagram page that I posted. So it's been about like 2 weeks. So I'm cool on that. Again, my schedule, every 2 weeks, if not every 3 weeks, go ahead and put a video out and stuff like that. So I'm on track. I'm doing good. Everything's good. Everything's been good with me. Workout has been amazing. My gym sessions has been great. I've been finally really like getting on board with tracking my stuff. I'll like track it one day, don't track it the next day, and then stop. And that's not really good. So that has been great. I PR'd the other day for incline bench press, which was like, again, from the last episode, I don't really do that stuff. So I'm the type of guy, like dumbbell, barbell stuff, like I don't really do unless it's squat or like rows, like barbell rows. But then when it comes to bench, I'm just like, nah, like I just don't see the necessity for it, you know? But I've been doing some sitting, some thinking. I'm like, you know what? At least just like pure strength. Let me see what I can do. But so I'm not like, I don't want to mess myself up. I don't want to mess my shoulders up. I just want to be able to do what I can, right? So I went, I think it was Monday. I think Monday's when I had a spot. So I believe it was Tuesday. One of those days. I went to go hit, I think it was Tuesday. So I went to the gym, hit chest, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to PR today. Of course, the gym that I go to, completely fucking packed every single time I go. It's ridiculous. It's like, you can't get, usually, if lightens up between like 7 and 8, but even then, it's still pretty busy. I'm not gonna, like, that's late for the gym, me personally, because then you gotta wake up, go to work, all that stuff like that, get your stuff done, right? Whole thing. Anyway, I'm hitting incline bench press, and I'm like, let me go ahead and just max today. I usually don't max, so I was like, I just want to see what I can do. So I hit 205 for incline. I got 1 rep of that. So I was like, oh, okay, like, pretty cool. But again, this was like, I was already like like 2 or 3 sets in, and then I had a workout prior to that. Like I had to exercise prior to that. So I'm not fully like energized, you know. But point is, hit 205. I was like, boom, cool, awesome. Then I hop over to dumbbell incline. I PR'd again, hit 90. Got that for 1 because I was exhausted already. But I was like, if I can hit 1 and I'm tired and I'm like, this is my 3rd set, 4th set, and I'm still able to hit this, I can easily PR this like again, if I were to warm up a little bit better, and just kind of manage it a little bit differently. So I was hype. That whole workout was almost like a PR. I was PRing. I did tricep push downs, almost like full stacked it. I was like, this feels amazing. Like it just feels nice. It feels good to be strong. Like it feels good to like work out. I'm like, okay, this is great, right? So the gym has been good. Hit legs today, and geez, bro, I used to love hitting legs. I still kind of do, but that was when I was playing basketball. And when I'm telling you, when you just kind of stop playing a sport and you just kind of transition to working out, it's kind of weird because it's like, oh, like at first it's cool because like, oh, I'm not having to worry about all this extra stuff for like that sport. But now since I have been playing basketball, I'm like, geez, dude, I miss the shape that I was in because I was able to jump more. Like I feel like I was like my stamina was better. So I'm trying to slowly get all that stuff back. I've been doing a little bit more cardio with certain things like sled pushes. I've been starting to do those. Those sled pushes, no joke, killer. Quads on fire. I'm like, when I'm pushing that thing, it gets tiring, but it's a pretty good workout. Jump roping as well, walking on the treadmill. Just trying to keep myself in shape. As long as I'm still able to run, I'm cool. Gonna be 24 this year. I'm gonna be able to run until I'm like 90 years old, so nobody's gonna stop me. But so everything's been good at the gym. Everything's been smooth. I've been kind of slacking on some reading, to be honest. So this has been like on my mind. This has been kind of like a big thing on my mind. It's been just not prioritizing, but kind of scheduling my day and prioritizing things that I really need to get done, and then like needs and wants kind of thing. So I've been kind of struggling with that. I haven't been reading as much, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not taking enough pictures. Oh, I'm not doing this. Like, I want to do everything in one day, but I'm like, I procrastinate and then I overthink too much of what I want to do, and then end up getting none of that stuff done except like 1 or 2 things. But so then at that point, I'm like, geez, bro, like I'm falling into this kind of habit. So I'm trying to get out of that, and I am getting out of that, but it's kind of like okay, boom, literally just have to grab a notebook, boom, right when I wake up, what am I going to do? Plan my whole day out. I was never like that. I'm like, that to me, that was like, oh my gosh, that's so tedious. But for me personally, I have done that before and it's helped. So I'm like, I need to get back on top of that. So yeah, it's a process, but it helps a lot. It's pretty good. But yeah, I've been kind of I have been reading my comics. So not reading too much of like novels and stuff, like other books. I've been reading my graphic novels though. I've been reading my Daredevil comic. I probably should bring it over here, to be honest. It's a big boy. But I'm a couple issues in because the way it's set up, it's called an omnibus. So like that's like a bunch of issues collected into one, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And since I have been reading it, I've also been watching the show, Daredevil the show. It's almost done. It's freaking crazy. Time just went by like that. I have 3 episodes left. So once Tuesday hits, it'll be 2 episodes after that, and then I have to wait until next year for the next season. So, and excuse me, if you guys are Marvel fans, superhero fans, Avengers Doomsday dropped like a whole cast debut kind of like premiere kind of thing on YouTube. It was 5.5 hours long. I was at work just like watching probably most of it, because the thing is where I was at during work, like I can just literally, I was sitting most of the time, so I put it on the background and I'm just there, I'm just watching it. It was kind of hype, which is so crazy. So it's like a whole thing. So I know once that movie comes out, I'm gonna remember, dang, like I was watching that when it came out, like, oh. But that got announced. That was pretty cool when I found out about that. Met up with some, met up with um, a friend. Haven't seen in a little bit. That was yesterday, and me and my cousin and our friend, we met up, talked a little bit. It's always so nice to see people you haven't seen in a little bit. It's just really cool, just like catching up, just talking, joking, and just talking about life. It's stuff like that is really cool. But and some other stuff is, I guess, nothing really like major except that one thing I'm going to tell you guys has happened. But like there's been a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's just been a lot of stuff that has been like just like I've had conversations with people, and the conversations I've had just kind of opened my eyes to certain things and just kind of like made me realize a little bit, like, whoa, like a lot of people are going through so much stuff and they just won't tell you anything about it, which teach their own, of course. Like some things you just don't need to know, it's not your business. But then some things it's like you would have never guessed. Like, oh, you're going through that? Like what? Like you don't need to be going through that, you know? So I'm not going to get too deep into detail, but just for, I can maybe put like a fake name and just like kind of give you guys a gist of what, because I don't want to, say anybody's name just in case. But there's recently I went to have dinner, and I was speaking with someone, and this person, real cool, cool vibes and everything like that. And they we just were having casual conversation, but then, my whole thing with people is like, yes, you can have casual conversations, of course, but like I want to be able to build some sort of connection with you and some sort of relationship. Not with everybody, of course, that's not always going to work out, but I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you a little bit more. I want to see if there's anything I can relate, like the realness of it. I want to see like the nitty gritty, hear about it, and just see like the struggles sometimes, because that's what we can relate to. Obviously, again, it doesn't always have to be struggles. It can be successes, all that type of stuff. But you guys probably get what I mean. So we were just having a conversation, and I guess it kind of ties into like the big thing that happened. So just, I guess I'll just summarize it real quick. You never know what somebody's going through and their mindset. So just remember that, and always be kind to people and be like gentle with people at times. There's a time and place for it all, and like you can tell when you need to be. Sometimes if you can't, you need, then work on it, and then you'll kind of understand. But sometimes it can be people like, they can be super, like, you'd think, man, they're super attractive, like they got a lot going for them, like they don't have, like, anything going on. And then next thing you know, that could be a person that is going through the most and that is asking for the most help, and you would never know, you know. So I don't know what kind of the how I would summarize that in like one word, but just be kind to people, and just know that sometimes just your presence and your conversation can help a lot of people, whether you may know it or not. So there's that. So then I'll get into a little bit of the story of what happened. That'll be kind of like the meaty part of it, and then I'll kind of talk a little bit about the style kind of towards the end and stuff like that, the clothing and stuff. So I have a video. I'm gonna probably go ahead and put, again, I always get confused on which side it is. Maybe this side, maybe this side, but again, you'll probably just, whatever side it's on, it's gonna be there. You'll probably hear it because there's sound to it. Hopefully I won't get copyrighted, but we'll see. I recorded it, but there was music in the background, so that's why I'm saying that. So this happened, I believe it was Wednesday. Let me double check. I believe it was Wednesday, and Wednesday or Thursday night. It was Thursday night. So it was Thursday night, and I went to the gym. Went to the gym with my friend, and we finished our workout. Everything was cool, and we went ahead and started walking to our cars. And we, regardless, we were just kind of sitting. We were talking. I had some questions about certain things. So one of my questions was, maybe you guys can kind of pause the video after I ask it, and maybe you guys can think. So a whole side thing, of course. But I asked my friend. I was like, "Hey, bro," I was like, we've been friends for a while, and we've like grown together and stuff like that. But regardless, you as an individual, that's what I was saying to him. Like, you've grown a lot, So if you had to give yourself some advice, a couple years back, what would you tell yourself? Like, how do you see things now? Like, do you see anything different, anything like that? So go ahead and just, maybe that can be one of your guys' thoughts for the day. If you guys can give yourself some advice, like about like 5 years ago, what would you tell yourself, kind of thing, right? So we were just talking about that, and talking for a bit, joking around, just kind of BSing. And then how it's set up, so we're like, okay, so we're like right here, right? So we're kind of almost on like the main street. So we're right here, and then it's a parking lot, but we're right here. And then a little bit further up, there's a car that was parked, and not that big of a deal, right? So car's parked, but we're just still talking, and then someone gets out the car, and you can tell it's a guy and stuff like that, and the car ends up like leaving. So this dude's just there, and he's just there, just kind of minding his business. He hasn't moved from like him getting out the car, though. He's just kind of in that spot, just standing, and he's just dancing, just listening to music. You can tell he's listening to something because he's just kind of moving around, dancing. So I'm just kind of like, oh shit, like, me, because of where I work and my mindset, I'm always attent to that. So, excuse me, y'all. I was just attent to it. We kept talking and stuff. So this gentleman proceeds to approach us, and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, here we go. Let's see what comes about of this, right? And my friend makes a stupid joke, and I'm just like, of course, I'm just like, no, bro, like, everything's gonna be cool. We're gonna be fine. And this dude comes up and talks to us. He's like, yo, again, I'm gonna probably butcher some of this because I don't remember the exact word for word, but I'm gonna kind of give you an idea, right? So he's like, hey, y'all, like, how y'all doing tonight? And me and my friend were like, oh, like, we're doing good, like, how you doing, man? And he's like, this gentleman was a very interesting character. He spoke very slowly, but at the same time, he took a lot of pauses in between his words. So it was a very interesting conversation just initially, just from the get-go, because you could just tell like this dude he just was different, and he's like, oh man, like life is good, man, like life is good, like God bless and everything. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, God bless you, brother, and he's like, yeah, man, I just got out of jail. I'm like, oh, okay, like, damn, man, like that's pretty, I'm sorry about that, or like that's pretty crazy, that's congrats, like all that, right? And I'm like, well, we asked him like, what'd you get in for, like what were you there? He told us what he did, right? And to be honest, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was unfortunate how it happened. What he told us, he went for possession of marijuana. So again, a lot of this stuff I'm taking with a grain of salt, because I don't know you, dude. You're acting a little bit strange, but at the same time, like, I'm listening to you. I hear you, and like you're another human being. Like, I have no reason to just be like, go fuck off somewhere, bro. Like, I don't want to talk to you. I have no reason for that. So we're just kind of talking. He's telling us this stuff, and it kind of the tone changes. It's very serious, and then he starts, talking about like, man, like God loves y'all, right? And he's like, again, it's so strange. Like, if I could do it, if I had someone else so I can explain how it was, I would ask him a question, or my friend would ask him a question, and he would like take a second, and then it would pause, and then he would talk again. And yeah, like he just was like God loves y'all, man. Like, like and then he'd be like, well, what's your name? Like, and then he'd be like, oh, like y'all like music? It was very random. It was very just all over the place. And next thing you know, the thing that kind of got me was, I guess I feel like I'm all over the place now how I want to talk about this story. So rewinding. Oh, dude, my light, it turned off. Did it turn off? One sec. Let me check. I think it did. Ah, shit, it did. Well, there goes that. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, me and my friend were talking about some stuff prior to this gentleman coming up to us, and we, like, just normal conversation. But as soon as this dude comes up to us, fast forward now to what I was just saying, this dude, word for word, was saying everything that we were talking about. He would have had no idea at all, and I promise that he would have had no idea what we were talking about at all, because he was nowhere near us. And it's like the odds of that happening are just very, very, like, damn near impossible. And it was almost like word for word. That's how it felt. So that kind of just completely got my attention, and not even almost, like, it got my complete attention. So I got quiet, and I hit one of these poses. I was like, all right, man, like, what's up? So we're just still talking, and again, he's a little bit all over the place. Just kind of, he's telling us about his history, and he hasn't seen his kids in a while, just everything like he's gone through. And then he says to us, he's like, man, I'm not from this world, bro. Like, I'm not even from here, right? So when I hear that, to me, I'm like, all right, but like this dude's on something. Just to be honest, like, this dude must be on some drugs or something like that. Like, you're a little different, bro. Like, to me, because of the people I've dealt with in my career, well, my work, I have experienced people like this, and this isn't something new to me. So that's why I'm like, oh, well, I take it with a grain of salt. But for some reason, this dude didn't make me feel like that. Like, I just was like even more intrigued that he said that, especially because of what me and my friend were talking about. Now he's talking about this stuff. Like, that's crazy to me. So yeah, my friend ends up leaving. He has to go home. So it's just me and him now. And for no, like, I'm not nervous. I'm not scared to talk to this guy. I'm like, I have no reason. Like me personally, I'm like, I feel fine. I'm not like, oh shit, you know. But we're just sitting talking and stuff, and he's becoming more comfortable, you know, and he's getting a little bit closer and stuff. Again, I'm still very tense. I don't mind though, but I'm just watching him, and we're just talking about a lot of stuff, and then we just kind of get into some things, and so his ride that was supposed to pick him up, I showed up, left. So then he's like, damn man, like they just left me, like and then he calls his people, like the people for like the transportation that was trying to pick him up, because um it's like a whole thing that like whenever you get out of jail, I guess like there's a company, a service that allows you to like get picked up from. So I'm like, all right, like let me help you out, bro, like, you know. And he's talking, so I try to help this guy out. He hands me the phone so I can speak to the gentleman, and the gentleman just did not care. He's like, oh, can you put him back on the phone? And then he just was like, I'll put you on hold. Dude never answered back. So I was like, let me go ahead and help you, bro. So I go and help him. I was like, hey, you know, and we're still talking. He's like, bro, like, I just appreciate you listening to me. This is what he says to me. And I look at him, I'm like, no, bro, like, I appreciate you. Like, thank you for this conversation. Like, I think all this is kind of meant to happen. Like, it's supposed to happen, especially whenever God gets brought up. Whenever I personally have conversations with God, conversations that God gets brought into, like that, just that whole thing, those conversations are meant to happen, right? Me personally, I believe that. And I treat that as almost like a reminder of, hey, you know, um, I'm here. I'm always around. And I want to make sure that, like, you know, so I'm helping him out. I go inside like the gym, see if I can just have a seat with him, if he could just kind of hang out with me for a little bit. And I'm just, you know, talking to him. And he's like vibing to some music. He's like, "What you think of this?" And he's like jamming out like to his West Coast music and stuff. I'm like, "Bro, this is hard, bro." And the one thing that did bother me a bit was whenever I tried to help like when I was helping this dude and I was like bringing him in, the looks that some people give whenever you're trying to help someone who doesn't like have any help, it kind of baffles me, you know. Again, I've been victim to that. Not victim. I'm sorry. That's definitely not the word I was looking for. I have been that type of person who's been looked at people a certain way, and like, oh, like, you need help, bro? Like what? But I don't know. I have I've learned that that's not very ideal to do. You know, whatever. Depending on the scenario, again, everything depends on a lot of things. But I try to be as helpful as I can. Um, so yeah, I'm helping him out and stuff like that, and then the dude's like, "Oh, let's just go outside, man. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette." So we're just talking. I go inside, right? This may not, maybe this doesn't sound as deep as I know it is, but hopefully you guys are maybe a little bit entertained by it. Um, so I go back inside and like, "Hey, I appreciate you guys for helping," blah blah blah. And this dude, I go back outside. He's like gone, just completely disappeared. And I'm like looking around. I'm like looking for him. Like I can't see him. I don't know where he's at. So that kind of just threw me off completely, because especially what he said. He's like, I'm not even from this world, bro. Like he's just talking about God a lot. There's just the whole vibe with it was just very unique. It was very, very cool. Like just heartfelt. Like I was very appreciative of this guy and like me helping him, and he was like thankful for me, like all that stuff, right? So then I'm like, well, like what the heck? So I keep walking, like I'm walking back to my car thinking like, oh, maybe I'll see him, like if maybe he's just around. This dude is just he's by like another building that's here. Like it's right next to it, so it's not far. It's literally right here. So he's next to it and he's just jamming to music. Like nothing, you know? And I'm like, I'm like, dude, like, what the heck? Like, where'd you go? You know, I'm like, I was looking for you, bro. You just disappeared. And he's like, nah, man, I'm like, I just like to be alone. Like, I like to be by myself with my peace. I was like, I respect that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the video. There's, it's cool, bro. Like, it's really cool. So here's the video. I'm going to go ahead and turn the music up just a little bit. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see that video a little bit better. Maybe not. I'm going to see if, okay, there's the focus. If not, I can go ahead and probably just put it there again so you guys can see it. But, hey, this dude, like, I don't know, to put it in perspective, this dude's been in jail for a while because of possession, right? Again, didn't get too much in detail with that, but, like, dude's been in jail, right? I guess the whole moral of the story, that's where I'm kind of coming down to, the whole gist of it, like, why it was such a big deal. This dude went to jail, hasn't seen his daughters, hasn't seen his family. They kind of like, that was the whole thing. He's been in some rough things. Like, a lot of stuff's been going on in jail, and then he gets out. He doesn't have any money. Doesn't like have really transportation. Doesn't have transportation. He was telling me that he's gonna get a job. Like, he has a job interview the next day because, like, he called right when he got out. Like, they tried to set something up. I guess all that whole thing, right? And to come up to me and my friend and to be so calm and still some like happy and to be genuine regardless of all that just happened to him, and to be like, you like West Coast music, bro? Like, oh, like, you like music, and to be dancing. And I'm telling you, when this dude started dancing, he had some sunglasses on, like, on his hat, and he was listening to Kendrick Lamar, and like, it was getting me hype. I was like, oh shit, okay, like, made me want to start dancing, right? And he was jamming out. And then I was like, put the sunglasses on, bro. So I just get out my phone to record, because not in the sense of like, oh, like, look at this dude, but no, like, look at this dude. This dude went through all that, and like, carefree, like, truly, genuinely just happy with, like, living and just being here on earth and just life, right? Also, I just recorded because I was like, I want to remember this moment. I want to remember this for a while. I'm never going to forget it, but... And then I just went home. I got this dude's info. I texted him. I was like, I appreciate, like, I'm very thankful for you, bro. I'm glad I met you. And he's just like, no, bro, like, the pleasure was mine. Then he texted me. He was sending me some videos of him while he was out there, and like something else happened. I was like, oh, like, be careful, bro. Just make sure you get home safe. And then he texted me the next morning. He's like, it was great meeting you, and I'm very thankful for you. And I was like, I said to him, the pleasure is mine, brother. I was like, be safe, and I know God will lead you down the path that you need to go down, and I know he's going to take care of you, and I believe in you. And to just, I don't know. I came home and I was like super overwhelmed. Almost like I couldn't speak. And like, I just didn't know what to say. And I was just almost like stuck. And it was, this will have to maybe be for another episode. Maybe, I don't know. But there's been some things that I don't know if gone through is the right word, but there's been some things in my life so far I have experienced, and when it comes to God and when it comes to like presence, like his presence and stuff, and it is very, very like real. It is very real. It is very powerful. So when I was in the car, I was like, that's how it felt. And I've only had like 4 of those in my whole life, but the 4 times I've had those moments, it has been like unexplainable. Like I cannot, I can't, what I put in words you will not understand what I felt and like what it was. Like that's how deep it was. That's how like much of a big thing it was. So maybe for another day I can get into that, because that'll be like a whole thing. But it just kind of it was like a reality check. It was humbling. It was very humbling, and it just showed me that we're here. I believe that we're here to like help each other and to like love each other and to care for each other, and to, at least me personally, I know that I feel like I was put here for that, you know? And it's crazy because then when I started thinking, I was like, just about 2-3 weeks ago, I literally right before I think I did this, like started one of my episodes, I was talking to myself about that. I was like, that is what I feel like we are here to do. We are here to help each other. We are here to love each other, to try to grow. Iron sharpens iron kind of thing. Just to be here for one another and to enjoy life, like, and to just like, I don't like, again, really just to put that in perspective, imagine to have what you have now taken away from you. You were just, yeah, I mean, it didn't even have to be going to jail, but like for it all to be taken away, and you still somehow find and still somehow have the compassion and the mindset and like and just the love to just still be like happy and to still be like, that's okay. Like, I'm okay. Like, this is like the materialistic, none of that, just to be you, to be human, to be here, to be grateful, like, that's some deep shit. To like, that's, I mean, to me, that's deep. That's like, people need to cherish that more, people need to understand that, like, that's like a big, that's big. That's like such a big thing to just have, to just be here. So the dude was cool. I'm glad I got his info, and maybe, I'm not gonna promise it, but I have his info, so maybe we can, to that guy, I'm not gonna say his name out loud right now, but hopefully, if God's plan works out like that, maybe I can do a video with him and you guys get to meet this dude, because I believe that this dude was a very, very genuine person. He was a very unique person, and just somebody cool, just somebody to have a conversation with and get to know. But that's just me. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just the whole, just enjoy life, y'all. That might sound really cliche. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. No, like, really enjoy it and love everybody. Like, just love, care, help, because and pray, and just know that God got your back. That's it's cool. It's really cool. It's a lot deeper than just it being cool, but I guess that's just my way of saying it. It's really dope. It's a cool way to live life and to think like that, when you like that, put that into perspective. So I just want to share that with you guys. So yeah, with the style, let's go ahead and kind of transition a little bit. So with style, right? I have been recently changing up a little bit of my style. I have enough clothes to like put a good wardrobe together, right? But again, going back to the whole 007 thing. If you guys don't know who 007 is, just literally go on Google, type in 007. That's it. Pretty sure only thing that's going to pop up is James Bond. But if anything pops up, that's on you. I don't know what that may be. Hopefully it's not anything bad. So, I guess disclaimer. That's my disclaimer. It should be James Bond, nothing else. All right. So yeah. I was like, all right, you know what? I need to go ahead and separate myself, right? And I'm already separated in the sense of like how I dress, how I carry myself. But the thing is, I want to hone in on that a little bit more. And I want to just really just embrace what I want to, like, how I want to dress and what I want to wear. Especially when I was a kid, like, I love this shit. This is dope. Like, if I could wear a fucking tuxedo every day, to me, cool. Got it. As long as I got a little, my little silencer gun and everything like that, I'm literally going to be James Bond. So, but I'll need a BMW or like an Aston Martin. No, Aston Martin, not BMW. Aston Martin. Maybe a little martini, shaken, not stirred. That's the reference. Look it up. So, I was like looking through my closet. I was like, all right, boom. T-shirts, gym stuff, casual, go to sleep. Like sleepwear, gym stuff. This is what I'm going to wear for this stuff. Unless it's, again, that's what I'm doing for now, right? Boom, I'm getting rid of things I don't need, like shirts, pants. I'm like, I don't want to wear this stuff anymore. Donate. Boom, get it out. Done. So, I already had dress shirts. But the thing is, I was like, you know what? There's a video, if you guys haven't seen it, it's Steve Harvey. He said some things, boom, like that's like a baseline to get into the style. But the thing is, I've already been knowing that, but there's a couple pages I have watched, and maybe I can go ahead and so one of them is Real Men, Real Style. There's another one, shoot, this is kind of on the spot, but there's this gentleman. His name is Ask OK Incorporation. There's He Spoke Style. And there's a couple other people, but those are like the main three, right? So I've watched these people like a couple years back already, but I was a little bit too nervous to kind of get into that kind of style. I was like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, am I going to like it? Am I going to fit? Like, am I going to look too dressed up? So that's how I felt about it, right? Now, it's completely different. I'm like, no, this is going to be my style every day. This is what I'm going to do. Again, I'll have my little touches to it, but it's pretty common. Well, let me rephrase it. That's not at all how I want to say that. This is not common, I feel like, as much. This almost is like, this probably is not a common outfit for people. A lot of guys my age, maybe. But that is going to be my norm now. That's what I want it to become. But I want to put people on game because this is like, it's just like it's literally like psychological as well. Like it's crazy what it does for you, Again, watching these videos and stuff like that, of course, I'm taking a lot of that stuff from it. But now since I've applied it, I have seen it, and I'm going to continue seeing it. So what you want to do, I'm going to go ahead and break it down. Go ahead and do your research. A lot of that stuff is research. Again, I'm telling you guys now because I've been doing my research, but then hopefully, again, that can be a video. I'm going to just do I can just like do like a dress up wardrobe kind of thing and see how I can set that up so it can be kind of like, it can be intertwined with this so it can just be smooth. So maybe I'm talking, have a video here, me getting dressed, all that stuff like that. So you definitely want to get a couple suits if you can, probably like 2 or 3 suits. And color-wise, truly, I mean, of course, like the Steve Harvey stuff is pretty. So what he says, you want to get 5 suits. You want to get black, gray, tan, beige, and blue, right? And then you want to get 2 white shirts, 2 powder blue shirts, and then 2 gray shirts. and then you can mix match all that, because suits obviously is a blazer, sports jacket, whatever you, because there's differences, but it's a coat and pants, and then you have the shirt, so then you can mix match everything. And then your shoes, again, shoes brown, black. You can get like a blood Oxford color. Is that the one? A blood Oxford? Am I thinking of that? Am I saying that correctly? One of those. It's like a maroon. I think I have a pair. It's like, let me see, go ahead, grab it for you guys. So this is it. This is the shoe. So it's like kind of like I think it's a blood Oxford color. It has like a reddish tint to it. This is tassel loafer, so that's like a whole nother style. So there's different styles. This is because there's tassels here. Right now I have loafers on. So these are my shoes that I have currently on. Just normal regular loafers, penny loafers. But there's different kinds, right? And then there's another one that I have. And these are, if I believe these are Oxfords. Just laced up Oxfords. Boom, if I'm not mistaken. Again, my terminology I'll have to probably sharpen up on, but there's that. And I have another pair, but you get the gist, right? So there's other shoe colors, of course, but that's like the general go-to: brown, black, and then that blood Oxford color. So you want to get some of those, and then dress socks. I have dress socks on, but I'm not flexible enough to even do that. I'm not even gonna do that. But get you some dress socks, and your dress socks should either match with your pants, your shoes, or your coat, your jacket, or your belt. So it's like it's that combination of it. So like right now I have mine matches my coat. I have a blue coat on, dark blue, and I have dark blue socks on. Right? So that's the whole thing. My shoes, I have a black shoes on, black belt. And then this gray somewhat matches with my pants. I have a charcoal, I believe I have like a charcoal graphite kind of gray pants, and then I have a light gray shirt, because there's different kinds of grays, all that type of stuff. It mixes and matches a little bit differently. So where are we at? 5 suits, 3 different type of color button ups. And you want to get you some shoes, and then after that, boom, you're set. That's your wardrobe. You have, what was it? He said you have 75 different combinations, right? That's awesome. That's amazing. So one thing for sure, there's a whole thing. And then there's different types of collars. You want to get your measurements, because this should be about like an inch from your jacket to your sleeve, and then from your wrist, all that type of stuff. Like watches, you have accessories. Again, certain way it's buttoned up. You have ties, you have all that type of stuff. So again, we'll probably get a little bit more in depth with another video, but to kind of get started. So when I started wearing this stuff, I was like, you know what? This feels weird. Like this, I feel like too dressed up. So recently, again, I've worn this before, but the thing is not often, right? It was like I was very hesitant. So I had like one, but I was like, I don't know. So I went to go shop around and stuff like that. I had a wedding to go to, and I had my wedding suit, like my wedding suit, and it was a burgundy suit, lavender shirt, bow tie. It was slick, right? But the day prior, I didn't have a suit yet, right? And I went and just like got something casual. I was like, I want to just get something casual for me, just nothing. It doesn't have to be too formal, right? So I went to go get a blazer, jacket, and I got some pants. I was lucky enough to have like it was a sale, so it was like a darkish, like it was a brown burgundy kind of mix, and it was a jacket and pants that match. It was a 2-piece. Got it for like $60. And if you guys know, again, I'll have to get into it. This kind of stuff, if you were to get it brand new from like Men's Warehouse, Macy's, JCPenney and Macy's are having sales right now, but even still, this isn't cheap stuff, like, so that's the whole psychology also as well that goes into it. So I got it for like $60. I went to go get I put on a gray shirt that I had that didn't fit me the best anymore, but I still put it on. It was tight, but everything looked clean still. And I went out. We went to, it was like a pre-wedding thing, and you just know, you can just tell. People look at you differently, people treat you differently, and it's a form of status. It's a different level of status that you start to achieve, and that's the thing is, it you just get looked at differently. They could be like, oh wow, like this guy knows his stuff. You could not know anything, but if you put a suit on and you put a fit together like that, they're gonna think you know everything. They're gonna hold you to a different. They're gonna put a different light on you, and that's some real stuff. It can, for women, I don't know how that goes, but for men for sure. It's crazy, bro. It's the psychological part of it. Everything. It's to the T, you know. So I put it on, and I was like, man, like I feel great. But before I got some input from my family, and I was like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like, this is too much just to go to the bar. Like, I don't know, like we're just hanging out with the fam, right? And they're like, no, like you look great, like this looks good. And I just had to get that out of my head, you know. A lot of the times, like it looks too much, me personally, but got that out of my head. Now, this coat I got for $10. Go to the thrift store. But the thing is, once you go to the thrift store, you're gonna be like, oh, this jacket, how like you try it on, oh, it doesn't fit. How do I know? Go get measured first. Go, and it's free. I got measured, I believe I think it was Macy's, or excuse me, take that back. I think it was either I think it was Nordstrom's. No, Dillard's. My fault. Dillard's. It was at Dillard's. I got measured at Dillard's, and I got measured prior, but this was like 2-3 years prior. And I got my new set of measurements now, and I have my measurements have changed. My jacket, so you have your collar length, your neck length, you know, like your neck width and all that stuff like that. Your sleeve length, your chest measurement, how wide it is and stuff. So that'll be for your coat, and for your shirt, kind of your pant, your waist measurement, your inseam, your outseam. And there's like I forgot the name for it, but there's like a cutoff from where, right, like how your neck and your waist, it's like a whole thing, right? Like the drop, it's like a drop. So get measured first, and then just go try things on first, because some of my measurements don't add up to what the measurements say on the clothes. So you need to go ahead and kind of try things on. It may sound really like, oh, I'm not going to do that. If you can get one of those measuring, like the clothes measuring, like tapes, not going to lie to you, like take that with you when you go like get some shirts or get some jackets. Maybe shirts and pants. I wouldn't say jackets, because jackets are a little bit like you can kind of mess with this stuff, you know. All this stuff also can get tailored. Like one of my pants got hemmed for my wedding, or not for my wedding, for the wedding I went to. Like, so the pants were a bit long, but he hemmed them, and so like everything just looked crisp, spot on, right? So then you have the dry cleaners and all that stuff like that, so you can look a little bit better. That's a whole nother thing. But so when I walk out, and when I go and when I wear things like this, and you know, example, for the summer, I'm not going to be wearing a jacket during the summer because it's going to be pretty hot unless it's like later at night. But even then, we'll see. So when I would go out, I would be in my dress pants on. I'd have my like a linen shirt, or if not a cotton shirt, it'd be a button up, and a short sleeve. Everything would be cool, you know. But the thing is, again, grooming as well. Keep it groomed. Like right now, my beard is a little bit off, but gotta shape it up. Make sure you freaking brush your teeth. Take some gum with you. Have a breath mint. Like, wash your face. Have some good colognes. Like, I have only 4 colognes now. Wait, 4 colognes now, which is fine. But get your rotation in. I have some oils that I like roll on those are fire too, because oils last longer than sprays depending on what it is. Get your beard oils. Make sure your deodorant smells good. Make sure you freaking wash your body correctly. That's the whole thing. Drink your water. Get some sleep. Eat some good food. Like nutrient food. And this all ties in to like style and everything like that, because you're just gonna want to make sure you look good and feel good. This already makes you feel and look good, but like adding all that stuff together is gonna help so much. So that's kind of like my quick-ish rant. I didn't really get too deep into all that stuff, but again, I'm still learning, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm wanting to add on to my collection, so then I can go ahead and explain to you guys. But what I have so far, so I'm gonna go ahead and zoom this out as much as I can. So this is it right here. So this is the belt. These are the pants. Again, watch. Here's my dress shirt. It's a gray shirt, blazer. And boom. When you stand up, when you're walking around, you can keep it buttoned. There you go. That's how it's gonna fit. You can put your hands in your pocket. Try not to as much. Boom. And when you sit down, you unbutton it. And you always button the first one when you get up. You never button the second one. You just always leave that unbuttoned. And there's also a thing called a double-breasted jacket. That's something else I'm going to be getting pretty soon probably, so I can go ahead and try that out. Let me zoom this back in. So, yeah, that's kind of where that's at. But I just wanted to kind of introduce that stuff to you, and then maybe next episode we can go ahead and do some stuff. There's a lot that goes into it. It's really dope. It's a process, and as well as it's not one of those things where like you can just like put on some pants and put on a shirt and just kind of go. You have to put some thought into it a little bit, and as well, you have to make sure it's maintained properly, if that makes sense. It's clean. Make sure it's ironed. Make sure it smells good. Like, don't just put a shirt on. Like, don't, like, make sure you wash it. It's kind of like, it may sound like dumb, but you'd be surprised. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. But this is gonna be my longest episode so far. This is probably gonna be like an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes. So I appreciate you guys for listening. This is a really good episode. Again, you guys probably won't see me for another like 2-3 weeks, but during that time, I will come back a little bit more organized, scheduled, like we just were talking about today in this episode. But I appreciate you guys. My lights were charged. Everything was cool besides this back one. This back one's a little bit kind of iffy right now, so I got to charge that one. So there's a blue light in the back, so it looked a little bit cooler. But yeah, again, I appreciate you guys for listening. The people that I know, love you guys. And then for the people that I don't know, love you guys too. Thank you for listening. It's a blessing. I appreciate you guys. I'm very grateful for that. And if you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and put them in the comments with anything. It doesn't matter what it is, how I speak, what I talk about, just anything, And if not, if you guys don't have any suggestions, maybe just put a cool comment down. Be like, hey, keep doing your thing. Hey, I like it. Just to get some feedback so I understand, like, who it is and that you guys are enjoying it. You guys are locked in, right? So you weren't on the computer today, but it's okay. You guys haven't seen me in a little bit, so maybe a little bit more FaceTime. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. So you guys will see me probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. This episode will probably be up, I believe, Tuesday. So maybe on Daredevil Day. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff done. If not, it'll be up tomorrow. So either Monday or Tuesday. So just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to be going to bed pretty soon. I'm going to gotta change out of this and go ahead and get ready for work tomorrow. So that's more or less what it is. This has been episode 3, chapter 3 of the best podcast in the world right now. Number 1 selling, number 1 everything, right? But this has been Late Night with Mr.Manan, and I appreciate you guys for listening. Come again, stop by, knock on the door, and then just come in and talk. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.